Hello and welcome. We're about to start week 5 now of the Plague League tournament series. I'm playing the same 75 as last week for some reason I appear to have an extra card floating on my main deck and I'm not really sure about how that came about. I would imagine that it's a land. But as I was saying, this deck is currently 11-1 in the tournament series. I took one loss to Burn in the second week, but since then we've been doing pretty well overall. It was an extra Mystic Sanctuary. I don't quite know how that happened. Otherwise, this I think is the preeminent control deck right now. It has a lot of answers against basically anything you could want to do. It has the ability and flexibility to take out all of its removal in the situation where it's playing against a control deck and doesn't want to deal with creatures. It has the option also just to take all of its counter spells and bring in more hard removal and other answers, such as additional suffocating fumes to deal with a creature rush. And you're never out of the game because late game you have access to Frantic Inventory and Secrets of the Golden City to rapidly refill and often draw into more of the same. And you can recur both of them with Salvagers and Mystic Sanctuary. So we're going to get started in a minute. Hopefully you enjoy the matches, and I'll see if I can bring up this deck's win percentage a little bit. It's been suffering, and I'd like to get it back over 90%. Well, see you in round 1. Okay, welcome back to round 1. We're on the draw against Lavakin, and this is keepable. Okay, so Lavakin is usually... Oh, this is a little different. Usually on a mono-green Zendikon's deck. I have not seen training before, though. So, we'll see if we can stabilize. Obviously, we need to draw land here pretty desperately. But hopefully we can hold off for now. And this is a little different. A little more aggressive. Lavakin typically themes his decks to be evocative of a certain planeswalker. So this one is evocative of Nissa, or one of the prior decks that he played was evocative of Nissa. Be interesting to see what's happening here. This is completely different. Oh boy, this is going to be a problem. Oh wow. This is the business, but we'll end this little Elf's Reign of Terror and hopefully stabilize. Probably need to draw cards next turn in order to hit land drops in order to continue onward. Looks like this is a counters sub-theme deck. I really want that. Oh well. Alright, 3 lands in the top 14. It's awkward, but cool deal. Imagine there's Gnarlid Colony somewhere in here to give these trample. Here, I might as well make my thing a 2/2 and then figure out what's going on here. Wow, it's so bad to discard, but I actually almost need to. No, I'll take the card draw spell. I really wanted to take Talons, just because the time it takes to return buys me enough turns, and I need to deploy something. Ram 2 is a good draw. Take 4, I'll deal with Talons. I have to just play this. And then if one of them gets Talons, then I'll trade with that one and try to stabilize at 7 here. The amount of mana that takes is significant, so I think we can get away with drawing some cards. This is an interesting little bug that's been happening to me on Arena. It's probably because of internet issues. So now we'll pass take 2 and then either inventory or counter or something or other. Inventory is acceptable. We have a tap land. It's probably best just to play this. I can double block the Survivor if need be. Yeah, so this is not the Nissa deck. This is something new that I haven't seen Movican play. So it'll be interesting to see what the sideboard looks like in other cards. I actually like Aesthetic a fair bit. It's maybe not the best card for the 5-drop slot, but I like it in an aggressive meta. Alright. Oh man. And it has trample. Jeez. Do I just go to 1 here and hope I live? It's pretty rough. I think that's what I need to do. Alright, let's cut it close. The nice thing about these decks is they typically don't have a lot of reach, so we can get away with a fair bit. There shouldn't be haste. I am going to play the land because I have to. And I want to keep counter spells up this turn. Just because I don't have any other hard removal. Do you want to attack for 1 though? Given the opportunity. The nice thing with this deck is once it stabilizes, it holds pretty well except against burn. Let's see what else they're cooking with over there. Wow, I'm having a lot of trouble with Arena today. Alright. Good, good. I think I'm just going to hold here and counter their creature if they play it, and then next turn Salvagers. Salvagers return a counterspell and ship it back. Because at a certain point, they'll run out of cards, and we'll still be in business. We only need a couple more turns, because drawing 3 next turn will be really nice. Okay, so now we're good. I'm going to ditch Fumes, just because we don't need it. Okay, now we're good. I'm going to draw 3 this way. Yeah, now this should be a pretty easy run to the finish line. I have enough. I could theoretically deploy my Avens. I can recur them and deploy them, but I'll wait until next turn. I'd actually like to just cast Devious Cover up here. I don't especially want any of these cards. Here, I'll just draw 3. That works. And I just need to put together lethal for next turn, and it's good. Attack down to 4. Illegal attacks. Yeah, weird little glitches. Alright. So this deck is new. Let me actually put it like this as I prefer it. I don't really like Toll. I kind of like Memory Leaks just because Talons is annoying and there's enough bigger creatures. I don't like Libation. I do like Cruelty. I didn't see a lot that got fused, so I'm going to cut that. And the gate is so-so. Like, there's obviously ram through, but I don't think that's where I really want to be. It's probably better to have a Last Gasp for some of the smaller creatures. Just having more early removal is usually good. I also think cutting a Devious Cover-Up for another piece of early removal is good. I'm still short a card. Sure, I'll play Memory Leak. I really don't like Memory Leak. Alright, I'll play a Suffocating Fumes. Play that card after all. Always nice to win the first game. Especially when I have hands like this. Yeah, that's an easy mulligan. Is this an easy keep? I don't really want the Mystic Sanctuary. I don't have any way of shuffling. So, I don't know what... Green is probably going to bring in something to do with the graveyard. I think I'd like to pitch the Sanctuary at this stage. And then go 1, 2... a lot of tap lands here. That's fine. We'll exile a few cards. Maybe if we're lucky we can get something that actually recurs. Early Aggression. Next turn I can use Last Gasp, and that'll even work if this creature gets buffed. Oh, Last Gasp was also good against the 3-mana 3/3s. Dissident. You notice there's ever so slight hesitation. So I'll try to kill this creature, but I'm going to get Ranger's Guiled. That's fine. Watching for those little things is important in a lot of matchups, as you can see where the tricks are for a control deck. I'll risk deploying just because Suffocating Fumes is going to be good next turn, if that's the case. And yeah, there's a hesitation. They've got cards that matter. So there's probably going to be an end of turn ram through, and then an attack for 4. That's fine. And then I'll use Cruelty on one of the creatures, especially if one gets big. Just diversifying the threats. Very smart. I'm going to cast this now, so it doesn't use mana, but what it does is prevents a point of damage. So obviously Dissident is the most problematic. Oh, that's unfortunate. So we're going to take 6 here. 6 is a lot, but maybe I should be bringing in more Fumes and trying to double Fumes, given how many 2/2s there are. That might be worthwhile. Yeah. Needed a counterspell for that thing. And this doesn't go the distance. Alright, I think I'm going to get beaten down here. Especially if there's some kind of trick. Yeah. Do I have any outs? Yeah, I've got outs. I could draw Moment of Craving. I have to jump here, though. Oh wait, I'm just dead. Never mind. Never mind. Alright. I get to be on the play. Still don't like having negates. I don't like having reactive answers against this type of a deck. I think you really need to be proactive. It's possible that Fumes is just like, you just want Libation that just kills a creature and then you don't have to like kind of bob and weave around stuff. So let's try that. Alright. I will definitely play first. This hand is extraordinarily mediocre. If I draw land, it's fine. If I don't, I'm going to get killed. I think it's correct to get to mulligan here. So we're both on 6. I'm shipping a Sanctuary. Yeah, I'll keep more untapped lands. Okay. Yeah, I know that this is something you can kill, but like, it's not a great card to try and kill because the 1/1s from Even Eternal exist. Alright, so pass, Speak of the devil. I'm just going to deploy threats. Like, if it's going to be a ram through or something like that that goes up and over, it's fine. Probably a 3-3. Yeah, look, 100% blocking there. It's a great 2-for-1. Now I still have my 2-2. They have to go through it. They play brute. I kill the brute. It's a little aggressive to do this right now, but I think it's fine. I don't want the brute to survive. I've gotten a little too tricky with Lavakin before. He punished me, so. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep beating down and just, like, sitting here. Especially given the mana situation over there, that he missed his 4th. I'm going to be extra careful. I don't actually want to block. I'd like to race here with a counterspell backup, even with whatever's going on. Okay, 2 brutes. Yeah, I still want to race. So I go to 12, they go to 12. Yeah, this is less good, but I don't really want to get into a ram through situation because there's too many tricks. Maybe I'm supposed to like force the double block, but it's fine for now. Anytime I draw a removal spell, the race swings rapidly in my direction. I don't care about that. Yeah. This rapidly swings the race in my direction because I just pick up the last gasp. And I get to attack. And the nice thing is I actually get to force a clean double block on one of these and prevent anything weird from happening. Like in response to Guile, yeah, especially if they cast Visionary. They actually shouldn't have cast Visionary first. So I definitely want to trade. Yeah, and there's nothing that can be done. Has to accept losses. Maybe I'm not supposed to take the 3, but alright, I'll pass to my turn. And then I'll kill this. This is actually kind of interesting. No, I don't want any of this. I was thinking like maybe because this isn't actually presenting lethal right now, but then I actually have to counter just about anything that happens. So I'll race, and this puts them on a 1-turn clock, and they have to find some removal spell. Close game though. It was interesting. This is where you really have to figure out if you're the beatdown or not. Am I just going to get killed by some pump spell? Ah, not quite. Ah, wow. Really close game there. Alright, well, that's round 1. And I will see you soon for round 2. Okay, we're back for round 2. Won the roll. This hand is a little awkward, but fine. And we can carry on with the business of battling with blue-black here. So that looked like a double mulligan. That's unfortunate, as toll will take its toll. Alright, I do not know what my opponent is on. I will say that I'm really glad that they finally moved the European lands over to Arena. These are some of my favorites to play with in real life, and I've actually taken photos of this specific island. It exists just off the coast of Venice. Okay. Oh, I've played some friendly games against Sunnyvale. So this is going to be Sultai Mutate, which is a very solid deck. It can run out of gas pretty easily, but it's solid. It has a lot of value creatures. It does a lot of cool things. Really what it's trying to do is mutate onto an army, because then all the other cards will be turned on and it'll transfer the counters up to the creature. and it has a secondary mode in its sideboarded games where it actually creates a hexproof mutated creature by playing Jungleborn Pioneer. Actually, I guess there's some number of these in the main, which is going to be annoying. But I should be okay with Toll of the Invasion. That attack is not good, sir. So next turn I will Toll. As much as I want to get a clock going against this deck, I need to get going here. Village Rites versus Visionary. I think I'd rather just take Rites and call it good. And I have to start getting in for as much damage as possible. I will take whatever hits from this Pioneer that I need to. I expect my graveyard is just going to be eradicated because the land is needed. So can't recur it. I didn't really want to anyway, just because 2 cards in hand, it's not great odds of hitting. Wander in Death is better. Make this a 3/3, which will hold back the fort. And I think I'm going to cycle this because I need action. This is a lot of turns, and there's a lot of flying cards. There are attacks. There's Suffocating Fumes. There's a few other removal spells. I'd rather just take the damage right now. There isn't much of a racing chance here, and maybe that's too conservative, but it doesn't really help me if Moment of Craving. Maybe I do want to just burn a Moment of Craving on my guy. Oh, I forgot to cycle. That's fine. I think I'm going to cycle now, just because there isn't much I can do, and most of the removal from this deck, if I recall, is Obnix. This is Cruelty. I've got no removal. I should have blocked just to force it, but the fact that he's not pulling the trigger indicates it's some other type of trick, or it's just like a straight bluff. So that's really interesting. I have to figure out if I'm going to block this turn. It's not that bad to block, just because of where the race situation is, between Essence Scatter and everything else. If I could find a card draw spell, that would be really nice. The reason not to block is if I draw secrets on this next turn, it'll be turned on by playing a land. So, questions? Okay, so there are attacks. Gosh, I don't remember the tricks in this deck. I assume it's Suffocating Fumes. I don't especially want my zombie token, so this card is marginally better. So I'll block and I'll see what types of tricks exist. Yeah. Fumes is fine, it just causes a 2-for-1 where I trade the zombie for his guy on the Fumes. That's fine. I think I'm just going to draw here. Play a Swamp. Attack for 4. Try to win this race. 4 against 5. Vicious Offering. Wow. That's an interesting choice. I don't think I like Vicious Offering. I don't think that I guess you don't have to sacrifice the creature. I feel like Moment of Craving is better, but I guess it scales really nicely. Oh, that's going to be awkward. We can't have that. So I need a decent card on this next turn, because now I'm losing the race by a fairly wide margin. None of these cards are good. The only one that's okay is the other Aven Eternal. So I'm actually going to grab this thing, because then next turn I'll be able to use it. And I'm not going to attack, because this will hold back the return attacks, assuming that there's no tricks. So let's see here. Yeah, I should be bringing in all the Suffocating Fumes, just to try and Suffocating Fumes on 6 for 2x of them. So if there's this attack, it either means one of two things. I just want to kill this creature if I'm stuck. Oh, fungal infection. Wow. So many cards here. This is new. Interesting. Alright. Well, I'm now just going to try and trade out here. I do need some good cards at some point, but for now, this should be okay. Given that we're on an even board state, and I've got a lot of creatures, this is exactly the type of game I like playing. I really need a card draw spell, though. I need a Secrets. We're due for a Secrets at this point, given that there's 4 of them and we're a quarter of our way through the deck. If this is a brick, then it's going to be fine. So it looks like this is no longer Sultai, but straight green-black, which I like. I don't think Sultai was really adding a lot to the deck. It was mostly Dreamtail Heron, which is fine, but kind of mediocre at the same time. Just because drawing a card, it would often just get killed. Okay, so just jams. Let's see how much of a jam this is. How many value blocks do I want versus real blocks? I think I probably want 1 real block on the Thallid, and then the value block on the Reaper, and then a value block somewhere else. The fact that these attacks are like this is really interesting, but I think I'd like to take 2. I just like where those attacks go. See what this next. Okay, another Thallid. That's fine. Not the greatest card in the world, but it's what we got. I cannot race, so I have to stop. Maybe I can encourage some bad attacks. It's possible I was supposed to murder there, but at the same time, I don't like trying to play around some of the other cards. We're going to get out-creatured. A lot of value creatures. This deck is nice now. Just to save the most damage, even though Cruelty will make it better or worse. I think I would rather go to 1 than go to 2. It just seems like much better value if I draw Moment of Craving or something. Like, it just makes the attacks so much better. Yeah. This is nice. Get to kill this. And we're temporarily stable at 1. I need this deck to brick. It's only drawn 5 lands out of 17 cards, which is a really nice ratio, as it certainly plays more than that. Okay, play some guys. I would love to draw anything. I'll pass, because technically Moment of Craving needs to be respected. Like, if there's... No, that's so risky. Like, if I have Moment of Craving here, like, I just make this block, and it's just crushing, but I don't have it. But anyway, no, this is a good game. So it's now just green-black value, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do against that. Obviously, if Sacrilink's Migration is part of the game, I need to be a little bit better against tokens than I normally would be. So bring in all the Suffocating Fumes, mostly trying to get to them on 4. Murder isn't good because none of the cards are big enough. I don't think I need Last Gasp. It doesn't seem to really kill anything that Moment doesn't. And I don't need more stuff at the early game. I don't think I need Toll. Negate is like really so-so. But I don't know exactly what cards are being brought in. Without knowing that, I probably want to cut a cover-up. This is 60. What cards would I want? Memory Leaks are nice for the right situation, but I don't know if there's a recursion loop of something on the other side, like Wandering Death, etc. I'm keeping in 2 Libations against the Hexproof Threat game. It's possible I should be keeping in more. Yeah, I kind of like staying on this. And this will be okay. Alright, down a game. Let's see what happens against green-black. Value mutate. It's a good description. So now here's the thing. This is where my deck makes the opponent decide, do they want to keep in removal, do they not, what's going on, and it sometimes interferes with the game plan. But generally, it seems like people are playing better decks, and I like that. I really like this format. I think it's a really interesting format right now, and there's a lot of back and forth to it. So let's see if I can draw some card draw spells and some Even Eternals, because that's where we want to be. Yeah, this looks way better. Let's definitely keep this. The trick is going to be I've got to get value against this deck, and I did get a fair bit of value initially when I was playing the Even Eternals. So I'm probably going to Even Eternal on 3. But it depends. I don't know if I want to counter anything early, just because of what options the opponent has. Suffocating Fumes is going to be really nice, especially later in the game. So I'm really just trying to find a second one and get to 6. So it doesn't look like anything's happening, which is convenient for me. Oh, there's a Duress. I don't care if the Duress resolves. I don't want to expose another card to it. They probably take Secrets or Suffocating Fumes. Like, those are the obvious ones. Maybe Essence Scatter. I wouldn't take Essence Scatter. I don't think it's high impact, but I mean, I have to hold up mana, and I obviously want to play Even Eternal. You want to take something that's a proactive removal spell that you can just play at any point, rather than a reactive one where you have to time it correctly. So Secrets, take away the card draw. I play a land, I play Even Eternal, we move on. Hopefully I find a land somewhere with this. Yeah, a lot of discussion there, I'd imagine, on the other side, so to speak. Yeah, take Secrets, that's good. I agree with that play. Okay, good. Get to rebuy Secrets later in the game. But for now, I'll just play this. I'll deal with whatever nonsense gets played on the other side. I'll cycle Wandering Death. And should be okay. I don't especially like cycling Wandering Death this early, but it's correct. Ugh, it's awkward, but... And there's no lands. No lands anywhere. Alright, I'll race a little bit. Duress came in. Okay. So I need lands here. It's fine, I'll take 2. Doesn't care about the mana, so what's the play here? Underworld Charger is the answer. Okay. I like me some Underworld Chargers sometimes. I think the card's fine. I think I want to keep counterspells up and then cycle probably Wandering Death. I don't really want to take damage, but I don't know if I have a choice. I think I should actually probably just stay here and then block and move on from there. It's a tough decision. Trying to decide when to attack and when not to with this deck is difficult under the best of circumstances. Usually I'm a little more conservative, but I think with this deck, because of how much value it generates, I need to be careful. I'm not going to block. I'm going to take the damage, and then end step I'm going to cycle probably, depending on what gets played. So I'd like to counter the Reaper. I know that's a weird play, but I just don't want it to go wide at this point. That's fine. I'll just counter 2 things and just call it good. Okay. This is awkward just to be short on mana, but it is what it is. Could block. Like, I have an okay block here on the next turn. Underworld Typhon versus Charger versus whatever else. I will block the zombie token against the Visionary if that's what it comes to. Just because then I'll have air superiority and I get to play the tempo game. Yeah, you don't want to attack. How good is this? This wastes a lot of mana. I don't like wasting mana really here. I think it just makes him respect not attacking with Visionary. I need to get to a slightly more stable zone here. The fact that I've been missing on land drops is really awkward because I wanted to be able to hold up a slightly different selection of stuff. This is... okay. So I really need... alright, land is something. I think I just want to jam this on the charger while I can. And then... this is an awkward spot. I think I just want to attack for 2. And then I will block a couple of things here. And that'll open up Suffocating Fumes. This is probably a mutate creature, unfortunately, which is going to be awkward. It's a mutate creature and makes a 4/4 hexproof thing. I can still block it, which is nice. Oh, you go all in with this. Okay. I would like the kind of free stuff. I will block. Wow. What happened there? Just pushing through damage. That's really interesting. Alright, so I'm going to trade this guy as fast as humanly possible. And I'm going to attack for 2. I know that seems a little greedy, but I just really want to create some type of pressure, as this deck is going to have some decent draws going into late game that are going to force me back into a corner, assuming that I can't get way ahead on cards. So 14 is not like too far around. Yeah, lab pad is going to be a problem. So I'm going to make the 2 cleanest blocks here if I can. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'll just draw 3 cards then. That seems okay to me. Yeah. Cards. Great. And I don't have any counter spells, so I'm just going to play this. And at 9, that's fine. And I'm going to attack for 2 to put my opponent to 12. Okay, so now if once I untap, it should be pretty clean because I can cruelty the Death's Vigil, which obviously sacks and drains me, but then it just becomes a straight race across, and I don't have to deal with any nonsense. Also, right now this is messing with my Suffocating Fumes and what its efficacy is actually going to be. Is this an all-out attack? That doesn't seem good. Has no spells. Interesting. Oh, is this like an upkeep thing? Alright. Can't quite attack with everything. Obviously something's, I guess nothing's necessarily holding priority, as this always holds priority. Do I want to do it now? Do I want to do it later? I think later because of just mana issues. That Lampad is very mana intensive for what is trying to happen here. It's a good card though. So that is a card that Last Gasp doesn't kill, but I don't think it's a big deal. And I can almost always kill it with Frika's Libation as well. So it seems like there's now fewer mutate creatures, which I actually think is a good move. I think it's smart. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to wander in death yet. I think it's a little too good if I recur Salvagers at some point, given how much mana I have. And now there's decisions to be made. Probably sacks the token. Yeah, that makes sense. Just because the token isn't that good. Token is better as a point of life going, a point of life drain. Okay. Go to 7. I'm not going to cast Fumes or Cycle Fumes here. I'm just going to try to... I don't quite present lethal, but I would like to see what happens if I push here. Yeah, I'll kill the Visionary just to deny mana. This is fine. I don't even see a point to doing anything, just because on 3, like from a mana efficiency standpoint, sure. I guess I'll recur these two. But I'd like to keep up Devious Cover-Up, obviously. Yeah, okay. So we got out of that one. That was a tough game, though. It ended up just being about card advantage at the end. So it's about surviving the early rush. Do I have anything I want to do? Lampad gives reach, which is really nice for that deck. I liked having Fumes, even though I didn't get to use it. I didn't really want Negate at any point in that game. It wasn't useful. It looks like they boarded out all the removal. So my game shouldn't be about that. My game should be about just killing the creatures. And I probably want to cut Devious Cover-Up for that reason, and actually bring in Last Gasp to give me slightly more early removal, just to have a few more answers. Alright, game 3 on the draw. Always a tough one, but that's always a tough one too. Okay, opponent has mulligans as well. That is not a good hand, but this is a hand we will keep. Ship back a swamp. I'd rather have the bog. And yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. At least I have double blue, and I guess double black. There isn't actually anything in the deck now that plays double black except for Murder. That's been a change that I've felt is correct over time. Alright, you take my one non-land card. Sure. I almost wish I'd ship that just to like brick the Jerash. That'd be too good. But whatever. We'll deal. Reaper, I don't care about Reaper. I'd rather kill the 2/2s, so I'm just gonna ship it. I feel like this deck should play Phyrexian Rager, but it doesn't. Let's stop, as I do want to kill this thing. The only reason I want to kill it is because it's a 2/2, and the rest of the things won't line up really well against what I'm doing. I'll play a land, I'll pass, and I'll take some damage. And now I have to see if I can draw enough non-land cards to survive this. We'll exile there are 2 cards, move on, nothing else to do. Non-lands, please. Alright, we'll see what we got. Yeah, that's what we wanted to counter. Perfect. Now, see what the next option is. Yeah, this is one of the problems that can sometimes happen with this deck, is because your opponent will go a little bit wide with value creatures, that you can't just one-for-one them out. So you have to develop some type of board presence, whereas Aven Eternal is one of those perfect cards. If there's another mutate creature, this is going to be tough. That's also a good card, but not in the level that we're going to immediately lose. There's some time. Okay, I will take the 2, I think. I don't really fancy blocking, just because of Aven Eternal is actually worth 3 points of damage a turn by what it's keeping back. Yeah, I like this idea. I would like... I think I want Suffocating Fumes. I know it looks a little bit odd, but Suffocating Fumes makes all attacks impossible, because it gets a little bit of an incidental value by killing the Merfolk, but then it also will kill whatever attacking creatures in blocks. given the combat and how it's going to work out. I'm going to let the zombie attack me, and then I'm going to pass with mana up, I think is the plan. Oh, it's both of them, isn't it? Meh. That's an issue. Yeah, it's the last attack you get for a little bit, until something happens over here. Underworld Charger, that's pretty good. Ooh, Lampad of Death's Vigil, that's going to be an issue. Yeah, I might just be dead here. It's unfortunate. Should be pretty much everything coming in, other than Lampad. Yeah, you got enough removal that it's fine, so I have to block the attack here with Fumes, and then force enough like bad trades and stuff that it works. So I want you. Oh wait, I want you. Maybe I want you. You're 5 mana. 5 mana is so much. I really just want to kill as many creatures as possible, even if they drain me. Let's see here. So this way I take 2, I go to 6, and then I get drained for 1, 2, 3, and then I'm DOB for next turn, assuming I don't draw a removal spell. Wait, yeah. So I have to, if I block like this, I have to draw a removal spell. If I block the Charger instead, and change up the blocks, then I can take no damage. Alright, I have 2 clocks, so we're actually going to do the math here. But then these are going to manufacture damage in the future is the problem, just because I can't stop them. So I'm probably supposed to actually block the Charger. And I'm supposed to obviously make sure that it's this way, just because this is a better card in the graveyard. So this way I take no damage. That's acceptable. It's still not going to be pretty, but it takes a whole turn cycle for the Charger to come back. If there's another card here, this is going to be tough, if this is actually action. Probably need like Secrets of the Golden City into something. This is a lot of swamps though. 4, 5 non-lands versus 8 lands. That's tough. Yeah, this card doesn't work. It does not work for what we're doing here. That card is better. I think it's just correct. I'm going to play Sanctuary just because I need the blue mana. And then this thing, there's actually no good attacks this next turn, so I'll just block and then I'll exile the Charger. Oh, the Charger isn't coming back yet. Oh, we actually have lots of time then. This is good. I do have to kill this Lampad though. It's causing no end of trouble. Problem is, at a certain point, if I kill it, it actually enables the Reavers. Yeah, this makes sense, because then you get to actually deal it, and you actually get the correct number of cards in the graveyard. There's actually an argument to be made for not sacking it, not sacking the Reaver. Yeah. You don't sack the Reaver because it gives you the mana to play the horse again. That's a really aggressive line though, but it's potentially good. Yeah, and then this becomes a nickel and dime game. I really need Moment of Craving. If there's a land, I guess that means that it's still enabled. Come on. I really want to see land, horse, exile it, and then we see where we can go. Because that's moderately stable at least. That's really good. Needs something here. Problem is I need this for the horse. Like, I just can't beat a 5-5 just no matter what. Doesn't look like it's going to matter if I can beat the horse is the problem. Yeah. That's nice, though. Oh, I don't get the life gain. Awkward. I think I have to pass, and then I kill this, I get drained. Yeah, this card is so annoying. Maybe I have to actually cruelty it, and then, like, drain the visionary? It's possible. Depends on what the attacks look like. This is going to be a edge of the seat kind of game. I think I'm going to end up losing it, because Lampad is just very good, but I like this deck. This deck's very good. The green-black one. I don't feel like I'm an overwhelming favorite. Alright, so everything attacks. I guess one thing I could do is Moment of Craving the Lampad. Which is kind of interesting. Alright, so I gain life there. That's good. And then I get to go to blocks, and I get to force the sack. And I take 3, but I gain 2. So it's this really interesting dynamic. And I think this gives me the best outs, because I get to keep the Aven Eternal. I obviously take damage, which is annoying. And I go to 2. And then the horse comes back. I kill the horse. I'm theoretically alive next turn. I do need to draw card draw spells or something that gets me out of this. I'm still really low on actual action. Doesn't play the horse. Yeah, visionaries are good. I think I can't afford to do anything quite yet. That is really bad. Okay, so I think I'm doomed, given that there's a stop set. Either there's stop set, or there's full control, or something. It's interesting how, like, there's always priority right here. I think that this is just full control. Here, we'll go to blocks first. I had a Moment of Craving. This would be great, but as is, we'll deal. Ranger's Guile. Village Rites. Yeah, it's good. Goes to 1. Probably plays the horse now. It's a nice, sticky, big threat that is hard to kill. Alright. Card draw spell. Card draw spell, double Suffocating Fumes, and something. Another card draw spell. I think I have to draw secrets into fumes, something. That's close. That actually is really close. But it's not enough. Here, I'll play this out just to show. Like, do I have 1 extra mana? Am I just 1 mana short of surviving this? Yeah, I am. Because if I had the right amount of mana... No, I'm still Xaxes. Even if I can get to Moment of Craving. Because I could cast Moment here, block a creature, take 3, and I'd be at 3 because of the life gain, so I will concede right here. I don't have anything sneaky. Alright. Well, that is round 2 in the books, and we'll see if we can come back and win round 3. See you in a little bit. Okay, back for round 3. Won the die roll. This is fine-ish. Not great, but we'll play it. I need 1 land to hit all the 3-drops. I have never played against this opponent. Evolving Wilds for Forest. Interesting. Alright, that's obviously very awkward that we missed a land drop. But hand is good, I guess. Good enough. Red-green mutate. That's something. Needed that to be untapped, but Almighty Brushwhack. Oh, that's interesting. Alright. 4 mana to give it that effect. I think I'm going to sit here and then counter their next spell, and if they pump, I'll libation their creature. I'm fine with giving them the land. They get a land, we untap, get something. I feel like there's almost a landfall deck going on here. Alright, maybe I should hold up Counterspell, but I just want to play something. Alright, Symbiote, make a 4/5. I'm just going to recover the libation and then hopefully have the right stuff to handle this. Should I consider the triple block? I don't really want to. I'd rather just race. It's an interesting mix. I guess it's just meant to have creatures that actually do something else, that have like some additional value play of some kind. I think this is fine. That was an awkward set of draws, but I'll play the land and I'll pass, and I'll try and engineer some type of double block that's good with Moment of Craving or Negate to stop it from getting out of hand. I think what I want is just a triple block here. Let's see how many pumps this weasel goes through. Just 1. Interesting. Okay. Second Typhon. Kill the weasel. Okay, so I have to stop the Typhon from getting out of the yard. So I think what I need to do is kill a Typhon, take 4, and then pass. And then I'll have cancel for the Typhon when it comes out of the yard. This is going to be bad, though, in this case. Ugh. So many cards in the yard, and these take 4 cards, so there's 2 Typhons waiting to come for me. Would have been better to play the Aven. Alright, so I need Cruelty, which I don't have access to. I won't attack. I'll try and get a double block in. It's not going to be good with the Typhons, though. just like by brute forcing me. It's going to be really awkward. Yep. Should be no attacks. Okay, so we got a good block in, which is nice. I do like that. I think I just have to play this and hope it works, in spite of this being really awkward. Okay, it's probably worth just attacking, as I need to deal damage at some point, and it might come down to a race later. Good, I like this. That means I can play skeleton archers for value next turn. And if I draw land, it's going to be even better. Royal Eruption. Okay. Doesn't want to let me chump block. Land. Land is everything here. Cool. Yeah, I'm not going to even try to get complicated. I'm just going to kill it and then start trying to race. As this is not an absolutely atrocious race. Interesting. Main deck Wilt. It's good against some decks. So I have to survive 5 turns with these Typhons coming out. Brushwag doesn't matter. Cloud Piercer. Interesting. So it tramples now. But it doesn't have what it needs here, so that actually loses the game, interestingly. I get to get in for 7. I'm probably cycling this, but I'll leave the negate up just in case. Yeah, and then one of the Typhons comes out. So I'll cycle, and if I hit an Essence Scatter, I win. Okay, I don't. Hit 2 bricks. And then I should be fine, just because I have negate backup. Yeah, I'll negate that, because they don't have any outs. And that is game 1. That was a narrow one. Typhon is really good. So obviously I'm bringing in cards that beat Typhon. I don't know why we're going through the rigmarole of casting more of them, but it's fine. They don't trample. Alright, game 2. So there's a bunch of little critters which do die to suffocating fumes. But then there's also these big creatures which are really annoying. I think I want memory leaks instead. Negate isn't really that good. These things are fine. I think I'd like to cut a libation for a memory leak, just because memory leak can go into the graveyard and it's going to be more flexible. I'm also going to cut a cover up in exchange for suffocating fumes, just in case there's some early aggression. Yeah, this looks okay. This hand is fine. It's not great, but fine is good enough right now. Opponent mulliganed once. And I should have answers for the first few threats. I'm willing to just kill this right now. We're not going to have the same mana problems this time around. And then next turn I can either Memory Leak or I can Essence Scatter, depending on where I feel like. If there's a missed land drop, ooh, that's interesting. I think I want to Memory Leak and see what's going on over there. Spinnerets. I'll just take the Scythe Tiger, because the Shock does nothing, the Spinnerets does a little bit. Okay, no pump, leaving Spinnerets up, that's fine. And then I pass, and there's no good use of mana, which is nice. I don't really feel like end-stepping it. This is a little greedy, but I'd like to draw some cards and actually have more lands. Otherwise I eventually just lose. Oh well. Take 2. Hopefully no giant creature. Great. I'll cycle this, trying to hit a land. This is fine. It will force like some cards. The Shock will kill the Aven, and then Spinnerets will probably save the other creature when it gets to combat. And I will block probably the red cap. Another Shock also works. Still no lands. That's unfortunate. I'm just going to take the time to try to kill something, but in reality I'll just gain 2 life and let it continue on. Technically gives it a reach counter. I don't think that's going to matter. Yeah, I'm definitely going to counter that. Both is good use of mana, and also because none of these cards really matter to me. I just want to get lands. Okay. That's fine, and I'm going to kill the Brushwag. It's a little more annoying in the late game. I was thinking about that for a second, but the fact that it can go over Salvager is really annoying. Yeah, probably pumps here. Makes sense. Pump twice. That's fine. I'm just going to play Salvagers, I think. I've got enough removal that it doesn't really matter. And I want card draw at this stage of the game. So now I've given the option, I'll block. There might be a Shock and then attack for 7 though. Straight trade even gets me 2 mana. Okay, Symbiote. Red cap. Sure. I'll draw a couple cards here. Still can't find any lands. Wow, that's really rough. I will discard Devious Cover-Up because it costs the most mana. And I have to hope that this is a creature, otherwise I'm going to be taking a lot of damage. Probably I'm just taking a bunch of damage. Yep. Unfortunate. Here, I'll cycle this for a card just to see. Nope. Cannot get anything ever for lands, and I'll try and entice another attack here with a bunch of mana. Gas only needs to do it once, but, you know. It's a little risky, but I wanted to, given my opponent's mana troubles, I wanted to push it a little bit. Scythe Cat, okay. Hit a land. This is so awkward. So I'm dead to all the lands, I'm dead to all the cards. guess I should go to 1, and then if I draw a land, I'm safe. That makes sense-ish. So if I draw a land, I can Salvagers plus Moment of Craving to go back up to 3, and I'm still dead to the Royal Eruptions. That's fine. If not, I'm in trouble. I think it's best for me to draw cards here and try and find a land, and then actually just kill this and stay at 1. Maybe I discard a little too aggressively. Ah, boy, the Typhon. Okay, but there's no cards, so that's good at least. So I'll play Salvagers. I'll get back Cruelty. I will cycle this, chump block. If there's 1 brick on the opponent's side, I should be okay. If there's not, it's going to be interesting. That is effectively a brick. Hold on, we don't want to cast this card. Do want to cast this, and exile the Typhon. And then I want to play this. I guess I do need 1 more turn to fully set up, but this should be okay. And then get secrets back. And this puts me at 3, 6, 8, 9. You didn't shock me? That's an interesting choice. I think shock is lethal. I guess I could negate it, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm now 1 short, so it doesn't actually matter. So I still have to draw the cards to actually get out of this. And still in bad straits here. Oh no, did I just select 1? Okay, good. That was almost very bad. The lag is killing me a little bit. Okay, so now we need a brick again and not or a shock to some creature that doesn't matter. Okay, that's fine. I can afford to chump block. And I can afford this. And I need Cruelty. And I think I just have to do this right now. Yeah, I'm asking for a lot of turns here. Okay, well, definitely double blocking there. Anytime we can simplify the board state, it's good. So I need to figure out a way to exile that. That is right on schedule, and that was lucky. Finally got ahead there. And I would like cards. Like as many cards as I can get. Yeah, I was about to say, don't Royal Eruption my creature. We've been through that. Okay, so now we got cards, and more cards. That's good. And now it's the race to the finish line here. Cloud Piercer. I don't think Cloud Piercer is worth killing here. With 13 cards in library. It's actually a little bit dangerous to have that few cards. Alright, so it has reach. So I'm I'm just going to gain a life, just to put me out of shock range. And I think Suffocating Fumes isn't really what I want right now, so I'll cycle that. Murder is very good, though. And I can attack. Should have one more Devious Cover-Up and the other Mystic Sanctuary here, but we're good for now. Alright, thanks for joining me. I went 2-1 today, and yeah, it was a decent tournament overall. I generally liked how I played, and I still think the deck is good. I'd like to play more games against the green-black deck to figure out exactly where it fits into the metagame. Otherwise, until next time.